Ready to see the future through the lens of the past? Welcome to Endtime Prophecy Stories. Here we dive deep into ancient mysteries and uncover what lies ahead in a world filled with uncertainty. But we can't do it without you. If you want to stay prepared and never miss a revelation, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. And if you find value in these stories, give this video a like. It helps us reach more truth seekers just like you. Now let's open the seal on today's story. The Ethnos Protocol. Chapter 1. The Accusation. The air in the stadium didn't smell like popcorn or sweat anymore. It smelled like ozone and unwashed rage. 50,000 people packed the concrete bowl of the Coliseum in Atlanta, their faces illuminated by the harsh white glare of megascreens that stretched 3 stories high. Jace Vance leaned against a concrete pillar in the upper mezzanine, his arms crossed over a chest that had seen too much Kevlar and not enough sunlight. He wasn't here for the ideology. He was here because private security paid better than the military, and right now, the man on the stage was the highest value target in the world. Senator Julian Sterling stood at the podium. He was a handsome man in a predatory way, sharp jaw, hair the color of corn silk, and eyes that looked like blue glass. Behind him, a massive banner rippled in the artificial wind. Purity is peace. They tell you that we are all the same, Sterling's voice boomed, amplified by a sound system that rattled Jace's teeth. They quote scripture to you, but they twist it. They ignore the divine separation. Matthew 24, verse 8, "For nation shall rise against nation." Sterling paused, letting the crowd breathe. He leaned into the mic, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper that echoed like thunder. "The Greek word is ethnos," Sterling hissed. "Ethnicity against ethnicity, race against race. It is not a warning, my brothers and sisters. It is a prophecy of necessity. The water cannot mix with the oil and remain pure. The iron cannot mix with the clay." The crowd roared. It was a sound that made the hair on Jace's arm stand up. It wasn't a cheer. It was a guttural release of years of manufactured economic hardship steered precisely where Sterling wanted it. "For too long," Sterling shouted, pointing a finger at the sky. "We have allowed our heritage to be diluted. We have allowed the earth to be overrun by those who do not share our blood, our history, or our God. The false peace is over. Tonight, I declare the beginning of the reclamation." Jace tapped his earpiece. "Command, we have agitation in Sector 4. It's getting hot." "Hold position, Vance," came the voice of his handler. "Let the man speak." Jace looked down at the VIP box. Seated there, watching with the cold detachment of a reptile, was Adrian Thorne, the CEO of Perthelite Industries. Thorne was typing on a tablet, the blue light reflecting in his rimless glasses. He wasn't cheering. He was calculating. Perthelite controlled the cameras, the microphones, the data streams, and the AI algorithms that had fed these people a steady diet of fear for 5 years. Thorne was the mechanic. Sterling was the driver. "Effective immediately!" Sterling screamed. "I am calling for the ratification of the Heritage Act. Those not of the pure blood will be stripped of voting rights. They will be stripped of land ownership. They are guests in our house, and they have overstayed their welcome." A bottle smashed somewhere in the lower stands. A fight broke out, then another. "Sector 4 is breaching the barrier," Jace yelled, abandoning protocol. He saw a group of men in red armbands, Sterling's private militia, the Crusaders, drawing batons. "Let them," Sterling's voice boomed, unbothered by the violence erupting below him. "Let the chaff be separated from the wheat." The screens behind Sterling flickered, shifting from his face to a live feed of the streets outside. They were burning. Jace unholstered his sidearm, checking the safety. He didn't care about Sterling's politics, but he knew what a civil war looked like. He'd seen it in the Eastern Bloc. He'd seen it in the South. But But this was different. This was engineered. "Command, the perimeter is compromised," Jace said, his voice flat. "I'm moving to extract the VIP." "Negative, Vance. Thorn stays. The show isn't over." Jace looked back at Thorn. The CEO was smiling. Chapter 2. The Algorithm. Amara Kinte sat in the dark, the only light coming from the 3 monitors arranged in a semicircle around her. Her apartment was a sub-basement unit in Chicago, chosen not for the view, but for the thickness of the concrete walls which blocked most RFID scanners. She was typing furiously, her fingers a blur. On the center screen, lines of code cascaded like green rain. She wasn't just a hacktivist, she was a ghost in the machine of the new world. "Come on, you slippery bastard," she muttered, taking a sip of lukewarm coffee. She was inside Perthelite's back end. It had taken her 6 months to find the back door, a vulnerability in their thermal regulation protocols for the server farms. What she found made her blood run cold. It wasn't just surveillance. Everyone knew Perthelite watched them. That was old news. This was active manipulation. She pulled up a file named Project Cabnos Static. It was a flat Earth heat map of the massive continent. Red zones indicated high tension. Blue zones indicated passivity. The map was overlaid with a grid of data points: food shortages, water rationing, and media saturation of violent crimes committed by minorities. "They aren't reporting the news," Amara whispered. "They're scheduling it." She opened a subfolder. It contained deepfake rendering logs, thousands of them. Videos of riots that never happened, speeches that were never given, crimes that were fabricated down to the pixel. All fed into the social media feeds of the demographic Sterling was courting. Then she saw the comms log. Sender, A. Thorn. Recipient, message. The asset is performing within expected parameters. The polarization index is at 94%. We are ready to initiate phase 2. The sheep are begging for the slaughter. Recipient, proceed. Ensure the conflict is absolute. The solution must be demanded, not offered. Amara saved the data to an encrypted hard drive. She had to get this out. If people knew that the race war was a fabricated product sold to them by a tech billionaire and a politician, maybe they'd stop shooting each other long enough to look up. Suddenly, her screens flashed red. A skull icon appeared in the center. "Breach detected. Tracing location." "No," Amara hissed. She yanked the hard drive out. "Location confirmed. Chicago, Sector 7. The sound of a drone whirring outside her window cut through the silence. It wasn't a delivery drone. It was a heavy-lift surveillance unit, the kind armed with sonic suppression cannons. Amara grabbed her go bag, stuffed the drive into a reinforced pocket, and kicked open the ventilation grate near the floor. She didn't have time for the door. Thorn's private security, or worse, Sterling's crusaders, would be kicking it down in 30 seconds. She crawled into the dusty darkness of the vent just as her front door exploded inward. Through the slats, she saw boots, heavy magnetic boots used by urban shock troops. "Clear the room!" a voice shouted. "Find the drive! The CEO wants her head!" Amara scrambled backward, dust coating her throat. She was small, fast, and angry. They wanted a war? She was about to give them one they hadn't calculated for. Chapter 3. The Purge. The declaration of the purity laws didn't happen in a courtroom. It happened on the streets. 3 days after the Atlanta rally, the violence went nationwide. It wasn't a skirmish, it was a systematic purge. Sterling's rhetoric had weaponized the police forces in the red zones and emboldened the militias in the blue zones. Jace Vance was driving a heavily armored SUV through the outskirts of DC, the sky choked with black smoke. He was no longer on payroll. He'd walked away the moment he saw the Crusaders dragging families out of their homes on live TV, while the police stood by and watched. He had a new mission now: survival. The road ahead was blocked by a burning bus. Jace slammed the brakes, the heavy tires skidding on the asphalt. "Ambush!" he grunted, reaching for the AA-12 shotgun in the passenger seat. Figures emerged from the smoke. They wore the red armbands of the Crusaders, mixed with the tactical gear of local SWAT. They weren't looking for contraband. They were checking IDs. They were checking bloodlines. "Exit the vehicle!" a man screamed, leveling a rifle at the windshield. Jace rolled down the window an inch. "Private contractor, I have clearance." "Don't care," the man spat. "Step out. We need to verify your heritage." Jace looked at the man's eyes. They were dilated, manic. This wasn't law enforcement. It was religious ecstasy. "I'm not stepping out," Jace said calmly. "Then you die with the mongrels!" the man shouted. Jace didn't hesitate. He kicked the door open, slamming it into the man's chest. As the man staggered back, Jace rolled out, the AA-12 roaring. The automatic shotgun decimated the front line of the blockade, sending the Crusaders scrambling for cover. Jace moved with the fluid economy of a man who had treated war as a trade for 20 years. He advanced, firing suppressed bursts from his sidearm now, conserving the shotgun shells. He reached a burning bus and saw civilians huddled behind it. A woman, 2 children, an old man. They were terrified. "Move!" Jace barked at them. "Into the woods, go!" "They'll kill us!" the woman cried. "They'll kill you if you stay here," Jace retorted. "Run!" As they scrambled into the tree line, a heavy round impacted the asphalt near Jace's boot. Sniper. Jace dove behind the engine block of the bus. He scanned the rooftops of the strip mall adjacent to the highway. There, the glint of a scope. He took a breath, calculating the density drop of the bullet over the distance, and popped up, firing 3 rounds from his rifle. The glint disappeared. He was about to retreat when he saw a figure sprinting across the open road, dodging fire with impossible agility. It was a woman, clutching a bag to her chest like it was an infant. "Get down!" Jace roared. The woman dove, sliding into the cover of the bus next to him. She looked up, her eyes wide but fierce. It was Amara. "Who the hell are you?" Jace asked, reloading. "Someone with a very big target on their back," she panted. "Are you with Sterling?" "I'm with me," Jace said. "Can you shoot?" "I can hack," she said. "In a gunfight, that's useless." "Not if they have cybernetic aiming assists," she snapped. She pulled out a small deck, typing rapidly. "Give me 10 seconds." Bullets chewed up the metal above their heads. "Done!" Amara yelled. Suddenly, the Crusaders' tactical radios shrieked with high-pitched feedback. The automated turrets on their armored personnel carrier spun wildly and locked onto their own heat signatures. "Friendly fire! Friendly fire!" Screams erupted from the blockade. Jace looked at Amara, impressed. "Okay, that works. Let's go." Chapter 4. Unholy Alliance. The basement of the ruined church in Baltimore smelled of mold and unwashed bodies. This was the command center of the coalition, a ragged alliance of minorities, dissenters, and white sympathizers who refused to bow to Sterling's madness. Jace and Amara stood before a map of the city. "They have the airport," Jace said, pointing to the red circle, "and the broadcasting station." "We don't need the airport," Amara said. "We need the uplink tower. If I can plug this drive into the main trunk, I can override Perthelite's filter. I can show the world the raw data, the orders from Thorn, the scripts." "You think truth matters to these people?" a large man named Tyrell asked. He was the leader of the local resistance, a former Union rep turned guerrilla commander. "They're killing us because they like it, Amara, not because they were tricked." "Some, yes," Amara argued, "but the bulk of the army? The regular folks? They're acting on fear. Sterling told them we were coming to kill their children. If we show them that Sterling is the one killing their children, the narrative breaks. The narrative doesn't break until Sterling breaks, Jace said, cleaning his rifle. But the girl is right. Information is ammo. If we can disrupt their comms, the Crusaders lose their coordination. They're a pack of dogs. Take away the Master's whistle, and they'll eat each other. It's a suicide run, Tyrell grunted. The tower is guarded by Perthelite elites, ex-spec ops. Better gear than you, Vance. Better gear, Jace agreed, sliding the bolt home. But no soul. That slows you down. Amara looked at Jace. Why are you helping us? You look like the kind of guy Sterling puts on a poster. Jace looked at her. I hate bullies, and I hate being lied to. Sterling talks about gravity, about density, keeping us down. He talks about the laws of nature. But nature doesn't give a damn about the color of your skin. Density kills everyone equally. I plan to remind him of that. We move at midnight, Tyrell decided. Jace, you take point. Amara, you're the payload. If you die, we all die.
Chapter 5. The Meat Grinder. The assault on the tower was a descent into hell. The night sky was lit up by tracer rounds, painting streaks of red and green across the darkness. The sound was a continuous, deafening roar. Jace moved through the lobby of the media center, stepping over shattered glass and bodies. The Perthelite security forces were professional, disciplined, and utterly ruthless. Flash out! Jace yelled, tossing a canister around the corner. The explosion of light was followed instantly by the thump, thump, thump of his shotgun. He rounded the corner, dropping 2 guards before they could recover. Clear! Move up! Amara stayed close to his back, clutching her deck. She was shaking, but her feet kept moving. They reached the stairwell. The elevators were death traps. 20 floors, Jace said. Time to cardio. On the 10th floor, a drone buzzed in through a broken window. It was small, fast, and strapped with C4. Drone! Jace tackled Amara just as the drone detonated against the wall. The concussion knocked the wind out of them, plaster raining down like snow. Jace groaned, his ears ringing. He checked Amara. She was bleeding from a cut on her forehead, but she nodded. I'm good. Go. They fought their way up, floor by blood-soaked floor. By the time they reached the roof access, Jace was out of shotgun shells. He switched to a captured assault rifle. They burst onto the roof. The wind was howling. In the center stood the massive transmission dish. Guarding it was a mech suit, a prototype Perthelite exoskeleton armed with a rotary cannon. You have got to be kidding me, Jace spat. The mech turned, the cannon spinning up. Get to the terminal! Jace shoved Amara toward the junction box at the base of the tower. I'll draw his fire. You can't fight that. Just hack! Jace sprinted to the left, firing wildly at the mech's sensors. The bullets sparked harmlessly off the armor. The rotary cannon tracked him, tearing up the roof, turning concrete into dust. Jace dove behind a ventilation unit as it disintegrated under the hail of lead. He needed a weak point. Every machine had one. He saw the hydraulic lines on the back of the knee joint. Jace waited for the lull in firing, the reload cycle. He broke cover, sliding across the wet roof like a baseball player stealing home. He fired a burst directly into the knee. Fluid sprayed. The mech stumbled. Jace didn't stop. He vaulted onto the mech's back, jamming the barrel of his rifle into the exposed neck joint and pulling the trigger until the magazine clicked empty. The pilot slumped. The machine crashed to its knees. Jace! Amara screamed. I'm in! Uploading! Chapter 6. The Revelation. Across the Earth, screens hijacked. In the middle of Sterling's victory speech in Dallas, the giant monitors glitched.
The image of his perfect Aryan face twisted and dissolved. In its place, raw footage played. It showed Adrian Thorne discussing the culling metrics. It showed Sterling about the idiot patriots who were dying for him. It showed the false flag bombings of white neighborhoods carried out by crusaders in blackface and masks. The audio played over the city speakers. Sterling's voice. "Fear is the only currency, Adrian. Hate is the only fuel. If they aren't terrified of the blacks and the Latinos, they won't give me the power to crush them. Kill the kids in the suburbs. Make it look like a gang hit. Make them weep." Silence fell over the battlefield. In the trenches of Detroit, in the burning streets of LA, in the bunkers of New York, the shooting slowed. Men looked at their phones. They looked at the screens. The lie was stripped naked. The rage that had been directed at each other suddenly found a new magnetic north. It turned toward the masters. "It's working," Amara whispered on the roof, watching the city below. The pattern of gunfire changed. It wasn't chaotic anymore. It was focused. It was turning toward the Perthelite headquarters, toward the governor's mansions. "Don't celebrate yet," Jace wheezed, clutching his side where a piece of shrapnel had lodged. "A wounded animal bites hardest." Chapter 7. The Fall of Babylon. The next week was the bloodiest in human history. The illusion of the Ethnos War collapsed, replaced by a total war against the establishment. The Crusaders fractured. Half stayed loyal to Sterling out of fanaticism. The other half turned their guns on their officers in a fit of betrayed fury. The coalition, led by Jace's tactical knowledge and Amara's intel, swept through DC. Sterling was cornered in the capital. He wasn't the confident orator anymore. He was a sweating, trembling mess, huddled under his desk as the door splintered. Jace kicked the door in. He didn't have his rifle anymore. He held a pistol. Sterling looked up, clutching a Bible. "You can't touch me. I am the anointed." "You're a salesman," Jace said, "and your product is death." "I did what had to be done to save the West." "You destroyed it," Amara said, stepping in behind Jace. "You burned it down so you could rule the ashes." Sterling lunged for a hidden panic button. Jace fired once. The useful idiot fell dead. Outside, the Perthelite servers were burning. Adrian Thorne had vanished, his private jet shot down over the Atlantic, or so the reports said. The white supremacist movement didn't just lose, it was eviscerated. The betrayal was too deep. The men who had marched for Sterling now hunted his lieutenants with a savagery that terrified even the coalition. The streets were piled with bodies. The infrastructure was gone. The earth was silent, exhausted, and broken. There was no government. There was no police. There was only the stunned silence of survivors standing in a graveyard. Chapter 8. White Smoke. The vacuum of power was absolute. People were starving. Disease was beginning to spread in the camps. The anger had burned out, leaving only despair. Then, the bells rang. Not locally, worldwide. Every digital device that still functioned received a notification. Habemus pacem. We have peace. A live stream began. It originated from Rome. The Vatican had been untouched by the war. While the world burned, the church had waited. Pope Clement XV stepped onto the balcony of St. Peter's. He was an old man, frail, with a face that radiated infinite kindness. He wore simple white robes, no gold, no jewels. "My children," Clement said, his voice soft but carrying a weight that seemed to defy the density of the air. "You have bled. You have suffered. You have been led astray by wolves in sheep's clothing." He spread his arms. "The war of nations is over. The war of races is a lie. We are one blood, one spirit. The politicians have failed you. The corporations have enslaved you. The armies have destroyed you." Behind Jace and Amara, In a refugee center in Virginia, people fell to their knees. They were weeping. They didn't see a religious leader. They saw a father figure in a world of orphans. "I offer you sanctuary," the Pope continued. "The church has opened its vaults. We are sending food ships. We are sending medical teams. We are establishing peacekeeper legions to restore order, not with guns, but with bread." "It's too easy," Jace muttered. "It's too clean." "They're starving, Jace," Amara said, her eyes glued to the screen. "He's feeding them. Maybe this is the end of it." "It's never the end," Jace said. The Pope raised a hand. "I call for a worldwide unity accord. No more nations, no more borders to fight over. One people, one shepherd." The crowd in St. Peter's Square, 1,000,000 strong, chanted one word: "Salvanos," save us. Chapter 9. The Shadow Council. Deep within the Vatican archives, in a room lined with lead and ancient stone, Father Arturo Ricci sat in a high-backed chair. He was the Superior General of the Society of Jesus, the Black Pope. He peeled an orange with a small silver knife. The zest sprayed into the air. The door opened. A man walked in. He walked with a limp, his face scarred from burns. It was Adrian Thorne. He hadn't died in the crash. It was another fabrication. "It is done," Thorne said. "Sterling served his purpose. The nations are broken. The economies are leveled. They are begging for the structure you offer." Ricci popped a slice of orange into his mouth. "Sterling was a crude instrument, a hammer. Now we use the scalpel." "The Pope believes he is actually saving them," Thorne noted. "He thinks the Unity Accord is his idea." "Clement is a good man," Ricci smiled. "That is why he is useful. The world would not trust a tyrant, but they will trust a saint. They will hand him the keys to their freedom and thank him for taking the burden." Ricci stood up and walked to a holographic map of the flat plain. "The racial conflict reduced the population by 12%, Ricci said. "Mostly the aggressive males, the revolutionaries, the fighters. The herd has been culled of its wolves." "But 12% isn't enough," Thorne said. "Not for the sustainability goal, not for the new world order you promised." "Patience, Mr. Thorne," Ricci said. "The war was merely the immune system reaction. It weakened the body. Now that they are huddled together, seeking warmth, seeking the Eucharist, they are vulnerable." Ricci tapped a button on the console. A new file appeared. Project Pale Horse. "The food shipments," Thorne realized. "The medical aid." "Charity," Ricci corrected. "The most effective delivery system in history." Chapter 10. The Pale Harvest. 6 months later, the world was rebuilding. The peacekeepers, monks in tactical gear, patrolled the streets. The Vatican flag flew over the White House. There was no crime, because there was a digital identity system tied to the food rations. You behaved, or you didn't eat. Jace and Amara lived in a small cabin in the Appalachians, trying to stay off the grid, but the grid was expanding. Jace was chopping wood when Amara came running out of the house. She held a portable blood analyzer she had stolen from a relief truck. "Jace," she said, her face pale. "What is it?" "The neighboring village, the one that took the Vatican grain shipment last week. They're all sick." "Flu?" "No," Amara showed him the screen. "Sterility markers and immune system degradation. It's not a bug. It's genetic editing. CRISPR tech." Jace dropped the axe. He looked at the sky. A white transport plane with the papal keys painted on the tail was flying overhead, leaving a thick trail of vapor. "They aren't saving us," Jace said, the realization hitting him like a physical blow. "They're pruning us." Amara looked at the data. "The projections, Based on the distribution rate, they're aiming for 90% reduction within 3 years. Jace walked back to the cabin and pulled up the floorboards. Beneath them lay his cache of weapons, preserved in oil. He picked up a rifle. It felt heavier than before. "Where are you going?" Amara asked. "Rome," Jace said. "You can't fight the whole world, Jace. They worship him." "Then I'll have to show them what their god is made of," Jace said. He racked the slide. The senator was the distraction. The Pope is the trap. And we just walked right into the slaughterhouse. "When do we leave?" Amara asked. The sun set over the ridge, casting long, bloody shadows across the valley. The War of Nations was over. The war for survival had just begun. End of Part 1.
For more Bible-based end-time prophecy dramas to strengthen your faith and the faith of others, help spread the word by supporting the channel. Please like, subscribe, and share.